Yeah, I feel really good actually. It's probably I sort of not a huge fan of the pre-finals bye. I probably feel like it should be before the grand final. But this year it's been good for me, so I won't complain. I feel good. Body's in good shape. I'll probably have a bit of a lighter day today just to really freshen up, and then full train Thursday and into it on Saturday night. So yeah, I'm grateful for the bye this year. So sort of contradicting myself a little bit, but yeah, body's in good shape.
Given Carlton's extensive injury list, and I know they're going to welcome a few back, you guys are probably in a bit better shape than them. Is that a fair thing to say?
Hard to know. I don't really know the fitness levels of some of the guys that have been out. Like some of them have only missed a week or two and have played a lot of footy this year, so they're probably feeling a little bit like me, feeling rejuvenated and ready to go. So it's hard to put sort of a price on their injury toll. Obviously, they have had more guys miss more footy than ours. We've had our sort of bigger injuries early in the year, and it's given guys opportunities to play a lot of footy, like Kai and Logan and guys like that. Brucey, Sharpie's come in and played a bit of footy. So, yeah, I think both teams have had their injury challenges. Theirs have probably come a little bit later in the year, but like I said, it might freshen a few of them up, and they'll be coming over here looking to ambush us on Saturday night. So we can't really think too much about their injuries. We just got to prepare for their best, and we saw their best second half of and probably second quarter earlier in the year, and they're a great team, so we'll prepare for that.
Is it hard to prepare though when you don't know exactly who's going to run out? You don't know if Chera's going to play midfield. Some of the defenders don't know who they're coming up against. Like there's just so many moving parts.
Not really. I think for me, I've been around long enough. I've seen most of their guys play, and there's vision that we can watch of all their players. We can watch the last few weeks when they're not there, what their team structure looks like, how they play and where they play, and then you can go back to earlier in the year when they had most of their side in and get a feel for how they might line up, and their stoppage stuff. For me, that's what I look at more so. So I get a sense of who might be in what position and where they might play through looking at older footage from earlier in the year, even last year. So it probably just makes the prep a little bit longer, but that's fine. We've got 2 weeks to prepare as well.
Do you expect them to be, I guess, almost feeling like they're playing with house money a bit? I guess, based off the way that they got into the 8, I guess, what sort of challenge are you expecting from them in terms of that mentality, that the sort of style that they'll play with?
House money, is that like free money? Is
yeah.
That right? Okay. Yeah, but so are we. Like, no one expected us to play finals halfway through the year. There's been probably a bit of talk that we let a top 4 opportunity slip, which we did, but at the same time, if you said halfway through the year that we'd be 5th, probably most people wouldn't have believed you. So we've got a free hit as well.
You said most people wouldn't believe you. Did you believe you could make finals at that 4 and 6 or wherever you were, 13th?
Yeah, to be honest, I thought it's going to be hard and we can't afford many slip-ups, but I've always had huge belief in this group and what we can achieve, and yeah, you probably doubt whether it's going to happen this year at times, but you just come back to, it sounds boring, but come back to process and what makes us a good team, and Fags was really good at showing us some KPI numbers, which I've spoken about a bit, but some numbers that showed our game wasn't as bad as it seemed, and we just had to tidy up a couple of areas which we were able to do, and we built a lot of confidence in that bye period that our game actually does stand up when we're playing it for longer than the opposition. So still had a lot of confidence, but I thought it's going to be hard, and I didn't think that we'd sort of finish as high as 5th. It was sort of like, hopefully we can get into the finals from here. That'll be a great effort. So yeah, really proud of the group and how far we've come.
We always hear about lessons, learnt lessons from finals of so many years past. What have you learned that you can take into this campaign where you're obviously about to walk the tightrope?
Probably just, finals are built on moments. We've stuffed up a lot of moments, big moments, and we've been through a range of experiences, not only in finals, but even this year we've had to win in so many different ways. From behind against Sydney, we came from behind and won that game. We've had leads and blown them the last couple of weeks as well. So we've learnt so many different things across this season, let alone our finals experience. So we feel like we're well equipped for any situation that a game throws at us. Even last year, prelim down by 5 goals. Wasn't looking too flash there, and we were able to go back to basics and build our game. We don't have to do anything special. We know that simple brilliance gets it done in finals, and when we stray away from that, we sort of lose our way a little bit. So there's been some great lessons for us for 6 years now, and I think this year in particular we've learnt so much from all sorts of games that have been thrown at us throughout the year.
Speaking of lessons, what have you learned over your journey as captain? 50 games as captain this weekend.
Is it?
From you,
Oh, there you go. No, I didn't. Yeah, I've learned a fair bit. It's been an enjoyable process to go through, and it's been an honour to captain this great footy club for a couple of years now. And alongside Harris, it's been an enjoyable part of my journey. Biggest thing I've probably learned is not to change. I think I spoke about it when I first took over, but I didn't start that well in 2023, my own form, and sort of dipped away a fair bit and was trying to sort of worry about what the team was doing and worry about every other person's job and making sure they were doing that. And I sort of went away from doing what I'm really good at, and that's playing footy and doing my role to the best of my ability. So making sure you spend a lot of time focusing on getting your part right was probably the biggest lesson I learned, and others follow that. So just not to change too much has been my biggest lesson.
You've become a goal kicker again in the second half of this year, like a consistent goal kicker. Has that been a conscious thing to get in the front half of the ground, or is it just like evolved that way?
It's probably just evolved a little bit that way. I think even last year I probably had shots, I was just missing them. I've just been able to make the most of my opportunities, and I feel like my game's in good order, so I'm reading the game a little bit better than I was maybe the first half of the year, and getting into better and more dangerous spots. But yeah, it's probably more my finishing, to be honest. I feel like that's been a strength of mine this year, so hopefully I can keep kicking straight.
On the weekend, Jack Payne and Brodie played in the VFL. What did you make of their performances?
Yeah, I think Fakes touched on it, that the conditions were pretty average, so it was a tough game to watch. The boys had a crack though, which was great. Payne, first game back in a while. I thought he competed really hard. We know we get that from him, and Brucey, he's had 4 or 5 weeks as well with his injury. So I think it's for them just getting run in the legs, and they'll get another week of training and be up for selection. So I'm not sure which way we'll go, but it's good that both those boys are back and putting their hand up.
Pretty good time to get them back as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Dara's come in and done a great job as well, though, so that's going to be a hard decision for match committee to make. Or they both might play. They've got some pretty tall forwards. Charlie, I think, might be back, and Harry. They might roll with 3. Who knows? I got no idea, to be honest.
During your time off as well, you made a trip to Melbourne for the All-Australian night. How nice was that to be once again recognised?
Yeah, it's always a privilege and an honour to be recognised. Obviously, bigger things coming up, but I know I'll look back and be really proud of those achievements. Along with Zorks, so he's 35, so yeah, so proud of him to make that side as well. Well deserved. It was nice to be amongst the game's best for that night. You sort of take it all in and enjoy the night. I was looking forward to getting back to this weather, though. It was pretty windy and cold in Melbourne, so it was nice to get off the plane on Friday. It was like 35 here or something compared to 100-kilometre winds in Melbourne, so I prefer it here than Melbourne.
You didn't get a blazer last year, and you won the Brownlow. Is there a chance of winning this year's Brownlow, do you reckon?
Don't think so. I think Paddy and Dacos will be hard to catch, but I haven't really looked too much into it, but 2's enough. I reckon those 2 will be fighting it out this year. Maybe Bont as well. He's had a great year.
Do you think from what you've seen from your team this year that you can go all the way? You're still confident that that's a realistic goal?
Definitely. I think we've seen the last 12 weeks really since the bye. We've had those 2 losses in there, but we played some of our best footy in those 2 games and learnt a lot from them. So over a long period of time, I think our form really stacks up, and we've played some of the best teams. We've beaten the top 2, I think, in that period, Sydney and Port Adelaide in that stretch, and Bulldogs, who are one of the form teams as well. in that patch. So we feel like our best footy stacks up really well against the best, and no game's going to be easy. We don't expect it to be an easy ride, but we feel like if we play our best footy, we're every chance of winning it. We're excited by the opportunity.
What about your last game? I think 40 touches, nice way to come into the finals, personally.
Yeah, I feel like I've been building similar to the team for the back half of the year, and I didn't have much of a pre-season, didn't really do anything in the off-season after some surgery, so the first few weeks I was sort of finding my legs, and I feel like my form sort of correlated with the team a little bit, and I honestly feel like I'm playing some of my best footy in my career, so I'm confident in what I can do, and hopefully I can go out and deliver and play my role for the team. Whether that's a big game stats-wise, that doesn't matter, but I might get tagged or whatever happens on the day, but playing my role, I feel confident that I'm able to do that with the way I'm performing at the moment. So,
Are you expecting to get tagged?
I'm not too sure. I think the last couple of times it's been sort of Hewitt and Shearer doing a little bit of a role at stoppage, not a full tag, but then this year, since we last played them, Chincotta's done a fair few roles, really good roles on players, but he might go to someone like Zorks, or he might play on a dangerous small forward, so who knows. But I'm sure if it's not him, I'll probably be lined up on Hewitt a fair bit.
Do you enjoy that challenge?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's always good. And Hewitt's probably, we've probably broken even a fair bit over the last couple of years, so look forward to that challenge, and I love competing against competitors. Looking forward to playing against Paddy, superstar of the comp. Not sure we'll be lined up on each other too often, but it's always a pleasure to play against those players and rise to those occasions, so can't wait.
You started to talk about how this could be the year that someone wins it from outside the top four. Do you remember playing in a final series of being quite like this one in terms of it being so wide open? It feels like really it could be anyone's.
Yeah, probably last year was quite similar. GWS were a point away from making a grand final, and Carlton had us on the ropes, and both of them came from the bottom half of the 8. So last year was pretty even, and this year I think it's evened up even more. So I think all 8 teams have a genuine case to make the last day in September. So it's exciting for fans. It's exciting for players. Like, we genuinely believe that we can win it, and I'm sure 7 other teams do too. So it's great for footy.
I mean, that being said, it must be nice, I guess, to you would have liked to finish top 4, but to at least have that home final week 1. So it must be nice.
Yeah, we love playing finals at the Gabba. The crowd is amazing. Like, since I've been at the club, it's been so good to play in front of a full Gabba basically every home game for 5 years. It's unbelievable. From the turnaround that the club's made from 7-8 years ago to where it is now, it's awesome, and our crowd gives us an extra leg out there, and we can't wait to hear them on Saturday night. We're not daunted by having to go on the road after that if we're able to progress. We feel like our road form's been quite strong this year, so looking forward to that challenge if we can get the job done first on Saturday night.